I'm going to start this project by creating a border on my 9 by 12 inch paper. I'm lining my ruler up with the left edge of my paper, and then I'm drawing a little dash on the 1/2 inch line at the top. Then I'm going to go down and draw another dash at 8.5. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the right side of my paper, drawing a dash at the 1/2 inch line at the top and drawing another dash at 8.5 at the bottom. My next step is to connect these two dashes by drawing a straight line right across at the bottom of this paper, and then I'm going to do the same thing at the top. This is going to give me a 1/2 inch border. Now I'm going to draw a 1 inch border on the left and right side of this paper. I'll line up my ruler on top of the line I just drew, and I'm going to put a dash at the 1 inch line on the right and 11 inch on the left. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom of this paper, putting a little dash at the 1 inch line and the 11 inch line. The next step is to connect those two dashes together by drawing a straight line. And this is going to ensure that I have a 1 inch border on that left side. And now I'm creating a 1 inch border on the right side. Now that I have a border for my 8 by 10 inch rectangle, I'm lining my ruler up inside of it. And then I'm drawing a dash at every full inch line. I'm going to do the same thing on the left side of my paper, drawing a dashed line at every full inch, but making sure my ruler is lined up at the top of the rectangle box and not at the top of the paper. Next is to connect these dashes, making sure I line up my ruler, and then I'm going to draw a horizontal line from left to right. I'm going to do this with every single dash I just drew. Next, I'm going to draw vertical lines to create the grid. Line your ruler up with the inside of the border and start drawing dash lines on every full inch. You're going to do the same thing at the top as well, lining your ruler up with the inside of the border or at the edge of that rectangle. And then you're going to draw a dash at every full inch line. Now just connect those dashes, drawing vertical lines, and you're creating a grid. The last step is to label your grid. I'm turning my paper because this is how I'm going to draw my portrait, and I'm labeling my columns from A to H. Next, I'm going to label my rows going down from 1 to 10. And now I'm done. Now, how to grid a photo. Line your ruler up with the inside of your printed image, not the edge of the paper, and draw a dash at every full inch line. You're going to do the same thing on the other side of your paper, lining it up with the printed image, not the edge of the paper, and drawing a dash at every full inch. And I'm doing this because I want my paper to have 1 inch by 1 inch squares. My image is a little bigger than 8 by 10 inches, so you're going to see me knock off about a centimeter from the bottom. And that's okay. I'm just trying to make sure it matches with my blank grid. And now I'm just going to connect these dashes on both sides by drawing a horizontal line. Now I'm going to grid vertically. I'm going to line my ruler up with that last line I just drew. And then I'm going to put a dash at every full inch again, like we did with the first step. I'm going to do the same thing at the top of this as well, drawing a dash at every full inch. But make sure you line your ruler up with the printed image, not the edge of the printed paper. This is going to make me have a 8 by 10 inch gridded image. I'm going to knock off a centimeter from this image again. And now I'm going to connect those dashes to create my grid. My last step is to label this paper to match my blank grid. So I'm labeling from A to H for my columns, and then I'm going to label the 1 to 10 for my rows. So now I have an 8 by 10 gridded image. To draw using the grid method, make sure your photo and your gridded paper have similar measurements and are labeled the same. When you start drawing, make sure you're referencing the correct area and you move from box to box. I'm going to start in box B2 and work my way down. Then I'm going to move from left to right. As I draw the outline of Allen Iverson, I'm making sure I focus on each box individually, and I'm referencing back and forth with my image. So I personally like to start by drawing the outline of a person's head, neck, and shoulders, and then I'll move on to doing harder details like the eyes, nose, and mouth last.